We've been home for, I guess, 3 weeks, 4 weeks from our Florida trip, and we're preparing to head out for another trip. This time, we're going to be heading out to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, starting out in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina to see family, and then spending some time out on the Outer Banks. And that is a preparation trip for the major trip that we're going to take this year in 2019, which is Alaska. One of the things I need to do is get the oil changed. So today, I'm going to head into town to the place that I use for doing that and get the oil changed in the van. Should be a pretty simple task. It usually is, but it's a lot easier than me doing it myself.
Same oil today?
Same oil. So this system's called Bay Tracker, and I can actually watch them changing the oil. It's one of the dudes doing that. So you can check the air and the tires to make sure everything's good there. Change the oil and all the filters and the cab filters. And that's why this is the way I change my oil. I can sit here in the comfort of my little van and watch them underneath the RV and in front of it on this little screen, be able to tell exactly what's going on and feel good about everything there. So 7 minutes and 15 seconds in the bay so far. And actually Lynn prefers that I change the oil in the vehicles this way, because inevitably I will end up getting oil all over the driveway and my clothes and everything else. And so I can do it, but it's just maybe 20% more expensive to do it this way. These guys will do everything, so this is the way I change the oil. That's okay, send it to me by email. I'll take that here. Okay, bro. Thanks a lot, guys. Little less than 18 minutes from the time I pulled into the bay until the time I left. That's the way to change the oil in your Travato van, right there. That's the way. When you live in a van, even when you downsize, you need more storage. So to help with that, we're going to go from this to this. Let me show you how and why we did this to our Travato van. So I'm up here on the roof, and getting this disconnected from these bars is not the easiest thing. It's real tight up here, and you can see from each one of the support bars, 4 little hooks that hold it in place. I've got those loose. We're going to drop it down now. The next step will be put the Thule up here.
Just remember that it opens from the other side too. So if you need to do the other side, okay, close that side and lock it. Ladders really come in handy. How many times you climbed that ladder?
There's a lot of storage in one of these little Thules. And even though it was a little bit of a wrestle to get it up here, it'll provide quite a bit of storage. I moved the tools up here. The room is up here, the rug. We're even bringing an extra rug, all of our bike helmets, Maggie's vest to go out on the water, the extra leveling pads. There's a lot of room up here. Pretty successful thing to put on top, I believe. So why did we do this? Well, the first reason is to maximize the amount of storage that we have inside for things that we use almost every day. There's not a lot of that storage, so moving things that you only use once or twice or 3 or 4 times in a trip up on top like this, well, it just frees up space inside. The next reason is it's supposed to be a little more aerodynamic than the bag we've been using, but only time will tell. It does stick up quite a bit, so we'll see if that really is a reason or not. The other reason is it's waterproof. The bag we were using was water resistant. There's a big difference between waterproof and water resistant. Things that we put in here should stay dry. And the final reason, it's lockable. There's a lock on this thing that allows us to lock it and to leave it. And I'm not saying someone with a hammer couldn't get into it, but it's a lot safer than the bag was. So those are the reasons. You may have your own reason for doing this. You may think I'm an idiot for doing it. As I'm sitting up here talking about this, I'm starting to wonder if I am. Oh yeah, and another reason, a bonus reason. We can put stickers on this thing. We've already got stickers on it from when we went to the Grand Canyon, the Petrified Forest, Zion National Park. That one says Thule, but that's just because it came on it. On the other side, there are others. A lot of times we can't get magnets, and we haven't wanted to put stickers on the van. I don't mind putting them on this thing, though. At least it'll give us a way of remembering where we've been. Another bonus reason for doing it. One of the great things about having a van is getting to make modifications to it so that it becomes something that fits you like a glove. Lynn and I have done that since the day we've gotten our van. We've done our best to make the beds just as comfortable as they can possibly be. We put another roof rack on top and we moved the air conditioner. And in this modification, we're taking the microwave out and replacing it with a wooden cabinet. That was a tight fit, but it's in, and I'm not going to have to use too many screws to hold it in because it is definitely tight into there. There's not much way that that's going to go very much, move around very much. And the good thing is we don't think it's going to rattle very much either, which is a great thing because the microwave always rattled. It was a pain in the butt whenever it would rattle. So now let's see how I'm going to put the door on. So as you can see, there's a gap between the side of the box for the cabinet and the side of the actual cabinet here. And the reason is, if you look in here, there's a lot of electrical things. The USB plug and the switch and the electrical outlet are all here. They take up approximately 2 inches. So the thing we're going to do next after we put the door on is we're going to make an area here that we can slide something in there. Either a cutting board or, heck, we don't know. It's 2 inches by 21 inches. And in a van, 2 inches by 21 inches is a little bit of space that you can put something. And trust me, we'll find something to stuff in there. And we'll be glad that little space is there. So we chose to create a solid black cabinet door, and we've rounded the edges to match the curve that's on the Travato cabinets. And the reason we chose black is we're also going to turn the refrigerator into a black front refrigerator, and Lynn thinks that'll look really good once we get that done. Since she's the pro at that and I'm just the guy that sands and cuts wood, I'm going to listen to her. Let's see how this is going to look. That's going to look good. Let's put it on with the hinges. We may switch this up to a different type of latch But right now, these are holding really, really well. It's a corresponding piece here and here. You close it, it is on there. Next step is to take the door off of the refrigerator and to take the silver piece off. It is my understanding from the Travato Base Camp group that on the other side of this is a black piece instead of silver. So if that's black, this is black, should look good. We're going to try it anyway and see if that's actually a true statement. So the refrigerator door is off. On the bottom side, there are 2 screws that will hold this bottom panel on. So as I suspected, there is a silver piece on the front of it. Behind it is a black piece. All you've got to do is take that little latch, 2 screws off there, pull the silver piece out and put it behind the black piece. And as you can see, it'll go right back in there. Once I put the screws on, we'll have a black refrigerator. So I'm going to go get Lynn from inside and have her come out here under the pretense of looking at the cabinet door. But really what I want to see is if she recognizes the fact that we now have a black refrigerator. I don't know if she will or not. She'll be looking at the door of the cabinet, but maybe she will. We're going to see in just a minute though. I'm going to leave it running and go get her and see what she thinks.
Yeah, looks great. I didn't even notice it.
I told you she would not notice it. I told you.
You better be in there.
You're in it. So this is what Lynn saw when she came out here. She focused in on the new door of the cabinet, which I think is just human nature. She didn't even look at the fact that we'd already made the refrigerator black. That wasn't that difficult to do. And the two together look really good together as far as we're concerned. Another one done. We're going to show you how we use RV Trip Wizard to plan our trips and what we learned the last time we were using it. First things first, you'll need to become a member, pay the annual fee, and then log in with your email and password, which I've done here. You'll then want to create a trip to hold all your stops. In this case, we'll call it OBX 2019 trip. And we are leaving on 4/24, so I'll select that as our start date. Click on create. For the location, you can probably just use your My Location, but we'll type in the zip code for our hometown, which is North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, and select that. And that'll give us a start point. One of the features we really like are the 3 concentric circles, which represent how far you can drive on a normal day, and you set those up in your preferences. As you can see from here, we can make it all the way to Wilmington, or we can make it down to Myrtle Beach. That's where we're going to go. So we type in Myrtle, select Myrtle Beach State Park. That's going to be our first destination. You click on More Details. It shows you a lot of things. Mainly, we just want to add it to our trip. Lynn and I plan on staying here 3 nights. It will cost us almost $100 to stay here that 3 nights. And then we're going to click on Add to Trip after the North Wilkesboro. And now we have our first spot on the map. We're going to Myrtle Beach first to spend time with family, specifically my mom. And then we're going to head towards the Outer Banks of North Carolina. We like to stop at a place we've heard of, Britt's Donuts. So I type that in. There it is. It pops up. We click on the More Details, and we're going to add it to the trip. But we're not going to spend the night here. We're just going to stop. So I type in 0, or just leave it at 0, and then add it after the last stop. Great place to get donuts. Not exactly on our diet, but we're really looking forward to it. There you have it. The trip knows we want to stop there, and you can see we still only have 3 nights listed that we're going to spend the night. Another use for the concentric circles is to find campgrounds within your range of where you want to drive. For us, we're going to take the ferry over to Ocracoke, so we want to stay somewhere close to there. The Cedar Point campground looks to be perfect. We're going to stay 1 night. We know what the camping total is, and we're going to add that as the last stop, and it'll show up. So as you can see now, we know we're going to spend $81 on gas, drive 449 miles, and we're spending 4 nights. Really helpful information when you're planning a long trip. Just as our trip started with visiting family, it's going to end that way. All of my siblings are going to get together to celebrate Mother's Day at Cheraw State Park. So I typed that in, up it comes. I know that we're going to stay for 2 nights. I know the camping total, and then I'm going to add it to the trip, and that'll give us our next leg of the journey. After a fun time with family, we're going to head back home. We'll stay there for a while and prepare for our largest trip ever as we head to Alaska. As you can see at Found North Wilkesboro, we're going to add that as a stop, same way as we did before, add it to the very end, and then we're home. So there you have it. That's how we use RV Trip Wizard to plan our trips. Start at home, make it to Myrtle Beach for a while, on over to some donuts, head out to the Outer Banks, back to Mom's, and then home. For larger trips like Alaska, it works out really, really well. You can see all the campgrounds you're going to be able to stay and find. We find it to be a very useful and helpful tool in our arsenal of things that we use to plan our trips. Van trekking lifestyle under the sun. Cute little bird. Thanks for watching and for subscribing. Maggie says happy tales. Be sure to find us on Facebook, Instagram, and on the web, Van Trekking Lifestyle. Thanks for being part of the journey.